Welcome to the Ease with Business podcast show live edition. This is the first episode of a new format that we're doing, and I'm really excited about it. And now I get to show off some of my favorite books, our amazing Buddha that we bought in Toronto before we left. You get to see some of it. So yeah, I'm excited. And as a reminder, or as a note, one feature of this show is that you get to write in to the live, so down below in the comments, what comes up for you, what you'd like clearing on, what beliefs you see coming up, what patterns you see coming up. And then in the following week's episode, I can address those and offer you a clearing on those. So this show is not meant to be the be-all, end-all. It's meant to give you some more lightness, some more freedom, some more ease. So ease with your business. It's the whole name of the show. It's the name of our monthly private class that we do, the Ease with Business group. And then in the Facebook group, the Procrastination to Profits Facebook group, again, these are all things to just help you move forward with ease in your business and create an income that you love, doing what you love. So yeah, I hope that's what you get out of this show every week. Now, for today's episode, so three signs that you could be a victim of overwhelm. We're going to dig in deep on that. And the other thing, so if you're seeing this on YouTube or if you're listening to this on my podcast, please come and join our Facebook group, Procrastination to Profits, so that you can ask those questions, ask for specific clearings, and that you can jump in on that and get some basically free coaching from me, free energy clearing from me. So sometimes I will go general in terms of the beliefs that we're clearing on this show, but that's because I don't have a client that's here live. But rest assured, when it's a live class or when it's a one-on-one session, of course, we get really specific, and sometimes it can feel uncomfortable for clients if it's the first time doing it because you feel exposed. Someone said once on a Facebook Live that I was doing that they felt like, how did I know them so well? How was I hiding in their closet? How did I know their innermost thoughts? It can feel like that sometimes. I'm not clairvoyant in that way, but I do have a deep understanding of this material and how it normally manifests for my clients. So it might seem general in this show, but rest assured when I'm working with clients, it gets very specific. So today, overwhelm. Are you overwhelmed? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you need a hug? This morning I could have used a hug. I was feeling very overwhelmed. And then I shifted that. I had some support in shifting that. And then I wrote my email for the week in record time, and I got this topic together. I'm recording this live. All of these things came because I used belief clearing and belief shifting to change all that. So here are 3 ways you could know that you're a victim of overwhelm. And of course, we're going to do belief clearings as we go so that you can have more ease and freedom as you move forward in your business this week. So first one is, first, you don't start your days with joy. So you know you're a victim of overwhelm if you're not starting your day with joy. Oh my gosh, I can be very guilty of this at times. I start my day with my to-do list, with all the things that there are to do, with, I don't start my day with a walk outside in the woods. I don't start with a hug with my wife. Oh my gosh, we can be so guilty of that. We just jump into our day. We have a 3-year-old. So we jump into our day. We're getting her off to daycare. We both get to do our yoga and meditation first thing in the morning. We're doing the trade-off for that. And then we're trying to get breakfast made. And sometimes we can forget to hug and kiss. Now, we rarely do because one of us, usually me, because my wife is gorgeous and delicious and amazing and I want to hug her every chance I get. But anyways, usually me, we'll have that moment of, oh my gosh, wait, stop. We haven't even hugged yet. Hold the phone. We're not going to move forward. So if you're not starting your day with some moment of joy, then you're a victim of overwhelm. So here's my suggestion, my clearing for that. All the ways you are struggling to get it all done first before you have joy. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? And whose story did you buy that you've got to get it all done first before you can have joy or before you're allowed to have joy? Take a moment and think about that. Like, whose story did you buy? Was it your mom's, your dad's, your old boss, current boss? Heck, might have been one of these authors, Brendon Burchard. You could have maybe misinterpreted some of his words about, you've got to get it all done. You've got to be productive before you can have joy, which I don't think that's what he's saying, but we could interpret it that way. Be a high performer, high achiever, and then you'll have joy. But actually, that's not what he says. That's not what most authors say, but we take it in through our filters, and then we say, oh, I've got to get it all done. I've got to get my to-do list done before I can have joy. So you know you're a victim of overwhelm if you're not starting your day with joy. So what's one thing you could do, and it could be a tiny thing, to start your day with some more joy every day, like a daily habit? Yes, I'm pausing on purpose, so you just marinate in that for a second. What's one little thing you could do to start your day with some more joy? Okay. Next, you start your day with worry. So you know you're a victim of overwhelm if you're starting your day with worry, which is obviously the opposite of joy. Maybe not the exact opposite, but you know what I mean. It's in that the same energetic flow, the opposite of joy. So you start your day with worry. You notice your inner critic kicking your butt. You know, you don't create that program that you want to create. You know, the program that you know everyone's going to love, but you don't do it because no one's going to buy it. What's the point? Or it's not going to be good enough. What's the point? Or some version of inner critic thought. So what's the inner critic thought that kicks your butt? When you're getting overwhelmed, when you're in the thick of it, when you're, as they used to say in Montreal, when I worked in restaurants in Montreal, and I'll never forget when the first day that I worked at this, it was entirely French-speaking staff, and I was the only Anglophone. And they said, oh merde, je suis totalement dans le jus maintenant. And I said, like in French, I said, excuse me, what are you talking about? Oh, je suis complètement dans le jus maintenant, merde, tabarnak, and they're just off. And at the end of the first day, I said, what are you saying? You're saying that you're in the juice? And they said, yeah. I'd never heard that expression before, especially not in French. That was their version of overwhelm. You know, you're screwed. You're in the thick of it. You're dans le jus. You're in the juice. So when you're in the juice, what do you say to yourself? What are those inner critic thoughts? And for everyone that didn't realize, yes, I speak French. I'm not quite bilingual, but I'm competent. So we could do an episode in French someday. So what are your inner critic thoughts? What do they say to you? You're not doing enough. No one's going to want this. Who do you think you are? It could go to the extreme. How dare you? How dare you think that you've got an expertise? You know, if you want to put a program out there and you're not, how dare you? Who do you think you are? So what are those inner critic thoughts? Write them down. And I touch on so many in these episodes. My podcast before, the continuing in the Facebook group. So write them down, and that's great material. If you want to write it down, I can address some of it at the start of next week's episode. So you start your day with worry. So here's a clearing to help you along. Oh, actually, we're going to go a different direction. All the ways you're waiting until you're fully energetically clear before you do the things that will create the future you desire. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? See, that one's funny. Because most often my clients are sweeping the bullshit under the rug. They're trying to hide the BS under the rug, pretending like it's not that thing, but really is that thing. So this one is kind of going in the other direction. You know, like sometimes, screw it, just leave the pile of, you know it's there, you'll get to it, either in a session with me or class with me or whatever, you'll get to it, but you're using the fact that you know you've got some BS to deal with. You're using that to not write the email, like to wait till you're totally clear. But what if you just created a little bit of momentum, clear one belief or two beliefs, or do a quick process, or the 7-minute mini meditation that I offer for free. It's on my website. It's under myspiritualclarity.com/7, and that'll get you some other amazing things too. But anyways, do a 5-minute process, a 10-minute process, do some push-ups, go for a walk, hug your cat, and then write the email. Okay, number 3. Excuse me. So the third, you know you're a victim of overwhelm when you underdo your day or you overdo your day. So most of us are familiar with the overdo, but underdoing looks like trying to play cool. You know, doing lots of general spiritual work, like you do an hour-long Reiki session first thing in the morning. Now, if you do an hour-long Reiki session first thing in the morning and then you are rocking the rest of your day, you're loving it, you're a contribution, you're really in flow, you're creating what you love to create, you're working with wonderful clients, and you know that that hour of Reiki supports all that, fantastic, go for it. What I have observed far too often is the opposite, where we do general spiritual work as a means to avoid the rest of the work that's going to put us out there in the world where we could be subject to attack, criticism. So we play small to stay safe. But then we hide behind spiritual practices, even prayer and meditation, so that we don't get attacked. So that's underdoing it. Now, like I say, if you have observed that your general spiritual practices really do support you, then I'm not here to get in the way of that. And I'm not trying to say productivity is the end goal. That's not what I mean at all. I mean your happiness, your joy, you meeting the goals that you set, and to feel productive for you, so that you can have that freedom and ease on all levels. And that's not just in the general spiritual practices, it's also in the specific contributions that you're being in the world. So the energy is getting real heavy right now because some of you still feel a bit attacked. But I would encourage you to take a look and see, is it me attacking you, or is it the fear of being attacked once you clear specific beliefs and actually put your work out there specifically and then hear specific feedback? All this detail and specificity can freak us out sometimes. So, all the ways you might be underdoing it so that you are not specifically attacked. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Oh, there's a lot of energy on that. Okay. And now overdoing it is when you are trying to take tons of action to make sure you meet your goals, but you're getting stressed out. Oh my gosh. So lately I'm very guilty of this. I used to be very guilty of the underdoing it. I had like a 4-hour morning routine to like get in peak condition, and then I wouldn't actually do anything with my day. Now I find I go the opposite direction. So I start my day with yoga and meditation, and then my wife and I trade off with our daughter. My wife gets yoga meditation time, and then I get my daughter off to daycare, and then I come home and I start my work day at 9, or sometimes a little bit before or a little bit later, depending on how things go with my daughter. And I find, especially lately, I just dive into my list. And if I don't dive into my list right at 9 o'clock, I freak out. I have a little mini ego tantrum in my head sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I freak out because I'm stuck in the overdoing it. So I'm feeling overwhelmed through the overdoing. So if that's any of my overachievers out there that are listening or watching, raise your hand, comment below. So overdoing it. But it's still about overwhelm, overdoing it because of overwhelm. But something that I talk about as a core of feeling overwhelmed, and it's going to be in the workshop that's coming up on the 18th, Releasing Overwhelm, is that what if overwhelm is your sign that everything that you want, all the good stuff that you want, it's on the other side of the door. It's right there. There's a door right there. It's on the other side. It's waiting to come in. But because you and I are waiting till everything's perfect, till we email our list every single week, until we're consistent, until we've got our messaging really perfect, or our niche really perfect, or we have our processes really down pat, or we've got that new website up, or whatever it is, that we're not willing to let it all in until everything's perfect. Why? Here we go. Whoa. Because if we let in what we truly want and desire before everything's perfect, then it's not safe. Then we can be attacked, criticized, judged. Oh my God. Whew, this one's going to hit me too. So all the ways you are allowing your overwhelm to drive you to overdoing it as a means to stay safe from judgment, attack, and criticism. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Whoa! And if one of you could please write that down below in the comments, that'd be amazing. I want to run that one for myself for a week and see what it shifts, because it was, especially for me these days, really on point. So if you could please rewind, write that down in the comments, that'd be fantastic. Thank you so much. So, Are you a victim of overwhelm? Have you identified in this live if you are a victim of overwhelm? If you are, don't worry. It's not too late. You can still turn things around.